like when they talk about, when they go to their nation and take a daughter of her youth,
Mm-hmm.
they're not talking about, I mean, in my opinion, I have no idea for real, but I don't think they're talking about a young 21-year-old daughter or 30. I'm thinking they're talking about in her teenage years. Like, Cohen Mikael, one of his wives, his second wife, I believe, was 13 when he first started courting her.
How old was he?
Cohen Mikael was in his, if I'm getting the story correct, he was in his late 20s.
Okay.
But they courted,
Yeah. I'm not familiar with
And,
that situation, but I understand.
Yeah, they courted first. It wasn't a sexual thing, but from what I was told, she was courted, and then she was courted with him and his wife. So his wife took her under her wing and, trained her up to be his wife and a woman.
She became a woman, and then he
Then, yes. So I guess, but some people would say that's pedophilia because he's already conversing with her at the age of 13, like in her mind. You get what I'm saying?
That's the best way to make sure she's pure.
Right. But
Raise her up. I mean, if he didn't touch her when she was a child,
Yeah, that's what.
yeah.
I don't think, as long as he didn't touch her, like I don't. If and then you said the wife was, there, so she was probably doing most of the raising and letting her know.
Because I know she taught her how to cook. This is just what I was told. She taught her how to cook, how to clean. Even though she came from a home and was teaching, but when you're entering into polygyny and there's already a wife, that wife usually is going to show the new wife, how this house is run, and that's what I was told, that she pretty much raised her up, to be a wife and taught her the things to be his wife. But yeah, but I know in a lot of cultures, even in Islam and stuff, they marry young. They find young daughters to marry because they want to assure that they have a virgin wife.
But not only that, virgin in the mind also, because you have to cultivate the mind to bring about a certain type of woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just grabbing the average girl off the street and you don't telling what her upbringing was like,
Right.
You don't know if she's been abused, you don't know if she's been molested,
Right.
you don't know if her father left her home, if she didn't have nobody to turn to. You don't know what happened with her.
Right.
You can never know 100%, but it's best to have someone that you can, pretty much have an idea of what has happened to them in their lives.
But that brings me to the question. So, like, building up Goshen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always, I won't say desired, but I've always admired the whole arranged marriages.
Yes, I'm with that.
And, like, I know my daughters are older, but I'm still in a place in my head where I would love to, look at a man and be like, okay, he's capable.
But the men got to be raised a certain way.
No, I know.
as well.
I'm saying that you're right.
And a lot of men are not raised in that manner.
In that manner. Right.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
a man would have to go to school, get a master's degree, in my opinion, and not because of going into the white man's society, getting a master's degree,
Right.
but just completing.
Yeah.
Because
It's a
college,
task.
what I learned from college was, the greatest lesson I learned in college was that college causes you to think. It don't teach you education as far as how to do things or think outside of the box that they give you, but it causes you to think. It forces your brain to work. Well, if you don't go to college and you're just a regular dude, more than likely, your brain is just dealing with regular things. So to prepare you, to better prepare you or equip you for the future, I think that college is necessary. Even if you're just taking college classes at night once a week or once a month or 2 or 3 times a year, I think is much necessary through the duration of life.
What about like if a young man does a skill college, like a technical college, and just get mastered in that?
It's still college. To me,
Yeah.
he's still learning. He's still
Right.
challenging
Well,
his
no,
mind.
I'm just because
Yeah.
when you say college, people automatically think a 4-year university, and then you got to go to another 4-year university to master that.
I think that you should go to a 4-year university,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not about getting the white man's education per
Right.
se. because in college they don't teach you, they don't educate you.
Mm-hmm.
So they teach you, but they don't educate you.
Right.
And what I mean is they don't teach you creativity in
Mhm.
college, unless you already a creative person when you go.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I went and I learned how to think harder and stronger and more than what I've already done. But it does help you to retain things in your memory. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend that for any man wanting to take the hand of any of my daughters. I would recommend that. You would have to be that. So I think he has to complete it. He can go right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
he can be in a process of doing that while they're courting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but he has to go and challenge himself.
Right.
Because I don't want my children to live in poverty,
Mm-hmm.
and I surely don't want them to live with an ignorant man.
Right.
He has to be very capable of thinking and functioning as a man on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't worried about the military, because that's a fool. Only a fool gonna send his children to die for a nation that is not his,
Mm-hmm.
theirs. So I'm not concerned with that. But at the same time, I'm concerned with the skill of art and warfare.
Mm-hmm.
So you should learn those things as well. The art of warfare is very important. And every young man should be learning these things, like with these boys in grade, start teaching them boxing, karate, and they're going to do things like running and track to build up their bodies. And you know, we
Be ready for-
breed a lot of lazy children,
Yeah.
mentally lazy and physically lazy,
Yeah.
just by doing everyday things.
Mm-hmm.
You won't even know your child is lazy until you challenge them.
Mm-hmm.
Like my children, we used to go running every week, right? And one of my daughters who don't live here, I went and go get her one day. We took her around the track. Man, she went halfway around the track and gave up. She's like 15, 16 years old. Oh, I can't do this. And her little brothers, her little sisters, because
Keep
they
it
do it all the
going.
time, they tore up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like with adults. You
Yeah.
take a lot of adults out there and you gonna go work out, we're gonna go run. They can't do it because they're lazy. They don't even understand what I mean by lazy. They think I mean lazy by not wanting to do anything. No, they really
don't
can't
push
do
yourself.
it. Their bodies are lazy. Their bodies, once it's challenged, it gives up. And you're out of breath, your body hurts, you're done. That's what I mean by lazy. You have to educate yourself and condition yourself. Not that you got to run a marathon, but you should at least, every adult, every person should be at least able to run a mile. At least a mile. Non-stop, straight through.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean how fast you got to run it,
Right.
but a consistent pace. Most of them can't. And it's a shame. When you meet a brother or sister who run like 5-10 miles,
Oh yeah.
they doing something great. Their bodies are conditioned, and usually their lifestyle complements that type of ability.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They are struggling. They excel in certain things in life. You know, when you do those types of things, you usually excel in other areas of life. Those things are very important. Yeah. They're very important because your body is used to working, is used to being challenged. You know? Those things are very important, but these are things that we overlook in our culture today. But you know, you watch a lot of those movies about old Africa. In the ancient days, they used to run for miles
Mm-hmm.
just to get around because they didn't have cars.
Right.
Right. Horses.
They didn't have horses, most of them, because it was too poor to afford them. And they used to run. They jog wherever they was going. Watch the movie Shaka Zulu.
I know, that's what I'm
Watch how they got around in Shaka Zulu.
Even in battle, remember?
Yeah, even in battle.
Running up with it, running up on people.
The thing that was so important about Shaka Zulu was that he was creative.
Mm-hmm.
He was a thinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a genius. You understand what I'm saying? And any man who's a great leader has to have a portion of genius within him
Mm-hmm.
and great humility.
Takes a lot to lead a people.
It does, man.
Yeah.
It does. And most people think it's easy. Like this little thing we got running this country. The orange dude. He's not ready for that position.
No, he's definitely not.
He's not.
He's definitely
I just seen a clip the other day when it was called this man thinking he's crazy. I posted on my page. They think that he's crazy. They got psychological people coming in, analyzing his
He could be,
situations. And how, I think he is.
It might be some of the decisions he makes is just like, are you serious?
Sometimes get power. can make you go crazy too.
He
Because
had
it's too
power
much.
most of his life.
Yeah.
He had money. I
He
don't
had
know.
power. Money brings about power.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the power he has right now over this is a whole world.
He's not making more
almost.
money now than he made in his life.
No, I mean his position. That's really what I'm saying. His position right now, it's like he's not even on the same levels as any leader of any other country.
Supposedly.
But because he's well, supposedly we don't really know a lot of the leaders, but because of his position, the seat he's sitting in, he's connected with these people, and I can just imagine him sitting there and not knowing half the stuff they're talking about,
More than half, probably.
looking like confused.
Something wrong with it. I don't know.
Yeah,
All I know is
I think he just thinks it's a game.
Yeah, he
It's
do.
TV or something.
he do. I know them people put him in office feel real bad right now
Yeah.
and put that idiot in office.
But is that your only requirement for arranged marriages? Like, I used to think about, like, I would want to look at the family they came from. You know what I mean? Like, a few generations.
I agree.
See if they got any type of,
Flaws,
yeah.
illnesses, sicknesses, because all that stuff is important.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
So any questions? Any follow-up conversations?
I didn't know it was that deep for the priest.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know it was that deep. I really didn't. As far as what they could do and what they couldn't do or what was allowed for them, I didn't know it was that critiqued like that. I didn't know it was like that. Wow. As most I knew, I did know about the balding head and I knew about the corners of your beard. I did know that. But the other ones I really didn't know. I didn't know those.
Any questions? We good?
I'm good.
Toda.